How's it going, everyone? Today's topic of discussion is the question or poll I put out on Sunday, which was, can you give 100% intensity effort every time you train, or do you need them sort of lower skill technique volume days? Had some really good feedback on this poll. I think the voting was very, very high for no compared to yes. We had around 96% voted no, which is I think it was around 50 something people, and then for yes we had around 2 or 3 people, so quite a big divide there. But I'll definitely jump into the topic a little bit deeper and speak on both sides. The reasons why I jumped into this topic, because at the moment at our gym, Stronghold Liverpool, we are working on Sleep September. So we decide what workout we're doing based on the quality of sleep we had the night before. If you think you had a good sleep and you know you can function, you sort of record your time you went to bed and time you woke up, and you feel like you're ready to hit maybe a high intensity workout, then we give you option A, and that's your decision. If you feel like you had a bit of a poor sleep, not really up to your general standards that you normally go to bed on time and wake up, maybe external stresses affected this, then we give you the option for workout B, which is either reduced volume, reduced intensity, just to help your body prepare a little bit better, and hopefully dive into the next day a little bit more at a closer to 100%. If we're really digging deep and making this a little bit more complex, which I don't want to do, but I'm going to try and touch on a couple of things. We talk about the central nervous system. An easy way to explain the central nervous system is, if you in a house building, there's going to be a light box or a light switch which affects all the lights within that building or within that house. If you switch this light box on, it ignites all the other switches in the house and all the lights sort of come on. If you have a little bit of a faulty box, or it does affect a couple of the light switches, then not all of them will tend to work. If we speak about the central nervous system in this sense, if you wake up feeling a little bit of sort of lethargic, a little bit sort of not your usual self, then this can definitely be down to maybe the day before, or the lack of a couple external stresses such as sleep, nutrition in terms of water intake, protein intake, vegetable intake. It could be other stresses such as relationships, working situation, or other situations that may affect you in a negative way. These can have a massive effect on your training readiness for each individual day. If you constantly ignore your central nervous system, you don't listen to the body, as that is the main driver of performance, you can definitely affect on how much quality you are getting out of each session if you push it a little bit further and don't listen to your body. I've drawn out 2 lines that are a little bit different to one another, but it definitely translates on to someone who goes 100% all of the time and eventually hits that sort of drop in intensity. There's someone who gradually builds, drops off a little bit more, gradually builds and drop off a little bit more. It's a little bit more consistent and listens to the sort of intensity scale. Line number 1, we've got a straight line to the top, and that's say you're constantly striving for that 100% intensity, okay? You come in on a Monday, you hit 100% as hard as possible. Feeling a little bit sore the next day, but you still feel like you want to push it 100%. You're going to keep driving and keep driving. Even though you might not be hitting it 100%, you still might be around 80 to 70. Wednesday, you might be around 50 to 60. And then by the Friday, if you're constantly chasing that high intensity 100%, you may be giving at least the minimum 20 to 10%. So it's not your best effort. So you can see this rapid incline of elevation on the line, and then boom, just a sudden sort of drop off in that performance can lead to huge things like when you're fatigued, injuries, loss of mechanics. Yeah, it can put you out of training for a couple of days because you haven't sort of listened to your own body's central nervous system. You've pushed through the paces and you've tried to chase that high intensity every single day. Is a little bit more of a constant line with a little bit of drop off and then to build again. So we look at this line as, say you're pushing from Monday to Tuesday, okay? Monday is 100%, you've had the weekend off, you're driving, pretty high intensity, you're feeling good, sleep's being good, nutrition's being good, hydration, stress levels are good. You get to around Tuesday, you think, do you know what, I'm going to take a little bit of a step back here and I'm going to maybe do a little bit of a lighter skill day. Doesn't mean you completely rest after intensity days. We just maybe work on a little bit of a skill or technique that you maybe wanting to work on the side. Yeah, you then come back in Wednesday, you feel a lot better rested, you've listened to your body a little bit better, your nutrition, stress levels or external stresses, sleep, hydration are all on point. This then allows you to go a little bit higher again, and then maybe you keep repeating that until eventually you've surpassed the person in the first graph who's constantly strive for that 100% every time and has that rapid drop off. Okay, you've gradually built your intensity scale, and you've kept climbing the ladder with that, along with sort of your rest or lower skill days in between, which allows you to push again, maybe over the next following days. The sprint coach, who goes by the name of Charlie Francis, who come up with the method of the high-low system, which basically sets out your week of training based on higher intensity days and also lower intensity days in between, so you can push a little bit further on other high intensity days. The rationale behind this, because he stated that it takes your CNS around 48 to 72 hours to recover from a high intensity days where you're really fatiguing your overall body, your power, endurance, your power, you're really going to home on this one. And on the lower intensity days, or the lower sort of skill level days, it takes around 12 to 24 hours to recover, for your CNS to recover from those loads. Now, this doesn't mean completely take a rest. Them lower days might be better spent working on your, say, aerobic endurance. It might be a lower skill day when you practice some movements where, say, empty bar. It could be technique skill days where you're really drilling sort of movement patterns to make them a little bit better, a little bit more efficient. Now, an argument against yes might be a little bit more of an elite level athlete who has the capacity to push at higher intensities throughout the week. This could be an athlete training for an upcoming competition where they need to hit these higher intensities as the competition is not far off. It could also be an Olympic athlete who's training right up towards the Olympic Games. As we get a little bit closer, higher intensities are achieved a lot more closer to this sort of competition where we need to be able to handle these sort of loads, these volumes, the intensities when it comes to actual performance in the competition. The high-low method is based on elite level sprinters, and there could be an argument sake that general population is not elite level. Therefore, we do find it hard to push to 100% intensity because we might not have the background or strength of the endurance, power, capacity to push to our true 100% intensities. But even so, every person's going to have a ceiling or a window that they can push until it's time to maybe drop a little bit lower so we can push again. That being said, if you've got your external factors correct, this could be your nutrition, so your proteins, vegetables, water intake. Yeah, this could be your sleep, so you get your quality sleep, your stress levels, so relationships are going well, your work life is going well, situation and general life sort of going well, then it might allow you to push at a little bit of a high intensity throughout your weekend training. But hopefully this video allows you to make yourself a little bit more accountable in terms of your own sort of training when you're looking at intensities. When you really do feel like you're a little bit lethargic or maybe beaten down, this might be a little bit of a signal that your body's sending to you to say, do you know what, maybe we don't push today, maybe we tend to practice maybe a little bit of skill or technique and see how we're feeling tomorrow. Even though it feels like it's the short straw in the short term, over the long term, I guarantee you're going to get a lot more higher intensity workouts over the long period of time if you want, compared to the person who's going to be chasing this 100% intensity every single day.